in fact, the nomenclature, so-called, of this allowance and what exactly it is meant to do, if it is not a duplication of what exactly they are to do. So, for example, Franklin Kujo, he's the Money Africa boss, he said neutrality allowance for civil service persons is fraudulent and must be scrapped. We'll take a lot more. Francis Kennedy Oklu says, how on earth are civil and local government workers being paid neutrality allowances? Allowance for being politically neutral? Majority of them are even more political than most open politicians. That's Francis Kennedy Oklu there. Elvis Dako says, I don't understand some of these things we do in this country. We use employment into public institutions to create all kinds of allowances to milk the state. Elvis Dako there. And so those are some of the comments on social media on this. People generally questioning the neutrality allowance in terms of a nomenclature as it is. Hopefully, Theophilus Dzimagah, private legal practitioner, can hear me this time. Counsel, are you able to hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Great. Many have said, for example, these allowances that are being paid in the form it is at the moment as neutrality allowances are illegal payments that are being made to these, civil and public servant staff because the law is clear on what they must be and do when they want to remain in the service.
Yes, good afternoon. I just hope you can hear me because your line was a bit bad.
I can't hear you.
Let's try. Yes, the law which the Civil Servants Association and Local Government Association, closer for that matter, are contesting, that bars them from contesting public offices, holding political offices while still in office. If they look at the article they are contesting very well, it talks about the fact that for public interest. So the law is looking at a situation where the public interest overrides their interest. Now, if you decide to be a politician and still be a local government official or civil servant, just resign, as the law has stated. Now, there have been a number of Supreme Court rulings. Notable among them is the one where CLOSAC itself had gone to court with the Attorney General, the Office of the Head of Civil Service, and the Head of Local Government Service, where the Supreme Court held that one cannot be a member of the civil service and still hold a political office or contest elections. Now they are talking about neutrality allowance or loyalty allowance. Now, where does that one come from? The law, our constitution is clear that any law that contravenes the constitution to that extent of contravention is null and void. So where are they getting that neutrality and loyalty from that they want to impose on us?
Okay.
I found it a bit weird that they contend that the Ministry of Employment, the office,
Hello, Mr.
the office of the senior minister had sat down with them and had negotiated this allowance.
Okay.
It beats my mind.
But they have argued, for example, that, well, the disparities when it comes to the salary structure of these civil servants and the politicals, properly so-called, is rather vast. And so as a measure to sort of bridge this gap and, just top up a little bit, give them a bump, they decided to raise it by 20%. It is just the nomenclature, the naming of it that particularly is raising concerns. You don't think perhaps if they must legitimize this, then there could be, an amendment to the existing law, for example, so this can be legitimized?
If we feel that there is a problem with the single spine salary structure, let us solve that. My investigations reveal that the CLOSAC particularly is fighting for this allowance because they felt that the others mentioned in Article 94 3B, the armed forces, the police, etc., are being paid this allowance. So since they have also been mentioned in that same article, they need to be paid that allowance. For example, they feel that the fire service, the immigration service, the legal service, the judicial service, the statistical service, etc., are being paid this amount. So they also feel that they need that allowance to be paid. That cannot be the situation.
Okay.
Because according to the single spine salary structure, everybody is paid according to a certain structure. So if it is that structure that has a problem, let us correct it. But we cannot be paying something to say neutrality allowance. Neutral to what? Let us look at other jurisdictions. For example, in the UK, the civil service studies every party's every political party's manifesto so as to advise the incoming government about the manifesto of Party A, Party B, and Party C. For example, if Party A wins and they feel that there is something from Party B's manifesto that could help with the growth of the economy of the country, they advise Party A leaders that this was in Party B's manifesto. Can you consider it? Those are the reasons why they need to be neutral in the first place. Right. Because you cannot go to an office which is a civil service office and you are told that I belong to political Party B. And since you belong to political Party B, Party A, I cannot attend to you. Then wherein lies the public interest for which the law was made.
Great. Thank you, private legal practitioner Theophilus Dzimagah. They're helping us with some legal perspective on this matter. We know that the Clock SAG leadership is in a meeting, we understand, with the National Labour Commission and some of the other stakeholders. As we speak now, we'll be monitoring that particular meeting. We'll bring you updates subsequently.